place to relax in. Fred Astaire was the first to do a backspin. The Rat Pack was a cool group of black men that inspired 5 white guys called the Jacksons. Eminem fitted in, but then again he inspired a black rapper trying to mimic him. And that's who really rose up out of Michigan, a signed white rapper by the name of 50 Cent. You will never know what you could ever be. If you never try, you will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So there were no slaves in our history. Were no slave ships, were no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And I know.
Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. It is your boy, Mr. Martial Arts Media, and we are back with another great episode of Cartoons and Cuts. That song was Lupe Fiasco, titled All Black Everything. That's off of his Laser album, man. That nigga is a poet, man, a poet, dog. So, yeah, shout out to that guy, man. And, yeah, I appreciate everybody that was on that live. Bro. I appreciate everybody that was on that live, man. Last week we had a very good discussion, very heated. I probably lost my black card to some folks. I think I lost a dad, goddamn me, in that motherfucking conversation, bro. But you know what? Hey, if the price of being ignorant means that I am black, then you guys can have it. You know what I'm saying? If I have to remain ignorant to keep this artificial black card, you niggas can have it, okay? Before I get started, I want to say something real quick. The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. That's a Turkish proverb that probably went over some of you all's head, but to those who get it, you got it. You're here. So today, man, we're going to talk about the black illusion and who's really running the game. Last week, we discussed, bro, quit blocking my live Facebook. See, they don't like that real stuff. See, last week we talked about black Americans and how we are emotionally manipulated and politically loyal and economically dependent to one party, the Democratic Party, who has mastered the art of using not just black women, but I would say people like Al Sharpton, Jasmine Crockett, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, The Shade Room, BET, Beyonce, Diddy with the Vote and Die, and Charlamagne, who for whatever reason want to be called Charlamagne Tha God. And Charlamagne Tha God, the real guy, he was known for, he was like Leopold Strauss or some guy. Anyway, man, this dude Charlamagne God, the real Charlamagne God, was in history murdered millions of black people. I think in the Congolese or somewhere in Africa. So I find that real funny that Charlamagne Tha God is going by somebody who historically killed black people. So, but hey, I'm not black, so why do y'all care, right? But yeah, man. So we talked about that, the Democratic Party and how they mastered these tropes as Trojan horses to stir up emotion, to push their agenda while offering policies that keep us trapped in a government cycle of dependency. Y'all, aren't y'all tired of that, man? Aren't y'all sick of that, man? So today I want to talk about the black illusion, who is really running the game, and we gotta keep looking back at the past, but what's holding us back right now? And you know, let's expose the game and let's talk about some real solutions. And so, for example, the civil rights movement, this motherfucker keeps getting, you know what? Y'all can have this live, bro. Y'all can have it, Facebook. I'm not finna fight with y'all. Look, and IG is freezing on me. I'm sure it's because I paid Lupe, but y'all needed to hear that shit, man. But check this out, dog. The example, is the civil rights movement, which gave us our voting rights. And I already told you that was passed by 80% Senate in last episode and a 63% controlled Democrat, right? So I already told you that who really got our rights. And so with that being said, these politicians, gave us our voting rights, but still promised the same thing that they did back in the 60s. Better schools, safer communities, economic opportunities. Why are we still waiting, though, is the question. So are we really free, or have the chains just been upgraded? And we can break down the systems that control us that we don't even see. One of the things I want to say is that black trauma and how that really keeps us track and who really profits from this. Example, after George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, corporations like Amazon, Nike, Netflix all pledged billions of dollars to black causes. But where did the money actually go? Most of it went to non-black organizations or disappeared after the media started covering it. Organizations like the BLM, the Black Lives Matter organization, there wasn't not one. And I'm going to say this. The people who organized it was 3 lesbian black women. Now, I don't care who you sleep with. That don't make me, excited or whatever you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that their memorandum didn't even, or their mandate, if you will, or manifesto, it didn't even include the nuclear family of a black society or the black community. It had nothing to do with black people as a people. It had everything to do with a black woman or a black lesbian or a black trans woman, but it had nothing to do to really benefit us as a society or as a community. They have done this same playbook time and time before. I saw this post where they was like, somebody said, where was all the Latin Americans, the Asian Americans during the 1964 civil rights movement? Where were they at protesting? Why don't you never hear from that community or anything? Because we know that they were here, and we know because of those rights, they got economic advances just like us. They kids was able to participate in the same programs that we participate today. But the caveat is they wasn't out there in the field with us. Asians and Latina Americans, they wasn't out there marching with us in the field. If so, somebody please show me the receipts, because I haven't heard of a Latino or Asian activist just as big as the big 4 preachers that they give us every year. Martin Luther King, MX, and MLX. You can't say that. MLX and Al Sharpton and all them other guys. Jesse Jackson. They never told you about George Lopez out there or his grandfather or Javier Mendez. I don't know. Maybe there is somebody out there, but where y'all at? The answer is they wasn't out there in the field with us, man. They were not. Okay? They were not out there getting beat like we were getting beat. Getting hosed down like we ain't read about it in history, but yet black people, you all are running to their help with this whole border issue and this whole illegal immigrants and migrants issue. And the first thing that y'all want to say is, well, the Mexicans. And it's like, well, the Mexicans wasn't helping us during the civil rights movements, but they sure did benefit off of that. Every community benefits and profits off of our pain. That's what it is. The LGBTQ community got bolstered off the backbone of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, that whole police brutality nonsense was just a rouge or another Trojan horse to get black support, because we are the Democratic base, to galvanize and put our tax-paying dollars behind these wicked institutions. that don't support us at all. And we we keep falling for the same trick, man. It's like the banana in the tailpipe. And it's like, well, you're not going to get me this time. But they keep getting you each time because, man, that's a very clever monkey. That's what she said if Justin was in the room. Hold up, wrong one. That's a very clever monkey. That's what she said, right, Justin? He probably... Yeah, that's what he heard. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we fall for it all the time, man. And I want to know why. Well, I know why. You know what I mean? Every election cycle, politicians run on issues like police brutality, racism, and reparations. But after they win, the conversation always dies down. And people was like, well, we should get reparations. I don't think, no, we don't need, invisible money being printed out to us. What we need is economic. We need the spigots of economics to be open up for us. We need channels of access to wealth. We need banks. That's what we need. See, they are so quick to give us auto loans, credit card loans, payday loans. You see that all up and down the hoods of America. Just go down Martin Luther King. You in any hood in America, I guarantee it. But why aren't there just as much as those payday loans? Why aren't there any banks, small business loans, SBA chapters in the hoods and all that stuff? Want to know why? Because they banking on you to default on these loans. That's why they are able to give us. It's called predatory lending. All right, they banking for us to file for these title loans, payday loans, and all of these other BS loans because they know you can't pay it back. And now you in another a debt trap cycle. All right, another cycle of debt. This is what I would call the modern day sharecropping. You know what I mean? Because when we got free, we had no land. And so they did the sharecropping where the landlord will let you lease or stay on the land at the expense that you work on the land, and you get a percentage of the crops that you make or sell. So if you was on a cotton, corn field, yam field, whatever, a percentage of that of the food goes to you and what you make goes to you, but the land, the house, all of that stuff you don't own that. And anytime that the white landlord changes the rules, you got to jump. You don't even get to say how high. All right, you bet not say how high. Matter of fact, read that book, Rolling Thunder, Hear My Cry, and that will give you a good concept of the sharecropper's life, because that's what we went through. My guy, so what is the solution? I would say the solution is, instead of waiting for handouts, we need to create and control our own economics ecosystems. We need to own our own banks. We need to own our own media companies. We need to own our own tech platforms. Okay? I'm going to touch on that on a minute. Hey, Jay, are you back there? I got a video that I want to play real quick. If you back there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to play this short video before I move on, and then we're going to talk about the political gang wars and the illusion of choice. This is Kamala Harris. This is Candace Owens explaining what we need in our society as a whole. Not a black or a white thing, but as a societal thing, man. So I'm going to put this clip up. Jump. And here we go.
It is very important for people to study the 100 years following slavery, because, as I've communicated to people very many times, Black Americans, their families were together, we're faith-based, we were not receiving any government handouts. And statistically speaking, during Jim Crow, and I'm not, this isn't an argument for Jim Crow, to be clear, right. I'm not saying we should bring Jim Crow back. Right. What I am saying is that in the 1950s, Black Americans were outpacing white Americans in terms of economic growth.
By implementing welfare.
Yes, they incentivized bad behavior.
That got rid of the Black father out of the household.
They said 23% of Black kids are growing up without a father in the home.
And now it's like 70%.
It's like 78% today. And they said this is a crisis, but you should ask them what the income disparity is between
a single white household.
There virtually isn't. So the disadvantage is the same when you grow up without a father in a home.
A single parent home is a more disadvantaged
Yes,
home.
and that's the pipeline to prison.
This Republican social worker asked the question.
That's my next clip that I was going to play. But, yeah, man, you see, Candace Owens definitely hit the nail on the head with that, I would say, man. And we don't have fathers in the home. I touched on that, man, and look at our communities as a direct result of that. 72% of us grow up in a single parent household, which means 72% of us probably grows up with our mom. All right? And the women today are not like the women yesterday, because some of y'all are just too delusional to even trying to rationalize with. You know, I saw a clip on the way over here. Dude was like, who says that when you and your gal breaks up that the woman automatically gets the kid? What law is that? And I challenge anybody to show me what law supports this statement. Because we know this is true, or this status quo, this law that supports this status quo, because the woman automatically gets the kid and the father is automatically kicked out the house. Now, statistically speaking, or what they're trying to say from an emotional level is that, well, the parent really needs the mother. The parent needs the mother more than the father. But we know based off of statistics now, over a 30-year trial period, longer because she just said 1960, that it's a prison to pipeline. They literally build prisons based off of your reading scores. And they already know that your fourth grade reading school scores. And so they already know that people who grow up in a single parent household, white or black, doesn't matter, but black people are more disproportionate. They know the fact that you are more likely to commit crimes. You are more likely to be imbalanced because there's an imbalance in the home. And it's typically because that imbalance is that you're not getting that masculine and feminine energy, that role model. You're not seeing a male or a female in your household co-opting together on a healthy mainstream. So we act out of pain and frustration and start committing these crimes. They know this, and they play this same game, and that's why they want to get you all riled up and get you hooked up on government dependency, because it's just more prisons that they get to build. So historically, we can say that single-parent households have not done the child any good. This is not an assault on mothers, because I know how people like to twist it and say, "Oh, you're trying to say that women don't raise good kids?" The data says, no, you don't. But it's not for the whole umbrella statement. Not all black people eat chicken. Not all white people are racist. But the data shows, hey, we need the fathers in the households, man. So political gains, man, and the illusion of choice. Example is that Ice Cube had a contract with Black America. And he tried to present this plan to both parties back in 2020. The Republicans responded. He actually met with Donald Trump. And when he tried to meet with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they said, just wait until after the election. And they never heard from each other again. People said, well, what about Donald Trump and Ice Cube meeting? Well, shit, y'all spent 4 years trying to persecute Donald Trump. He probably had no time to do any side quest. He was too busy trying to, do his main agenda. And then y'all was trying to impeach this nigga and Russia Gates and all of this nonsense. So he had no time to really fall through, or at least really hear this man out. But at least he sat at the table with him. Your girl Kamala and Sleepy Joe told him, hey, bro, after the election, and never met. Brushed him off. Just brushed him off. That's a Democrat. And y'all keep saying there's a switch and the new era. Y'all sound foolish. You sound so foolish. So here we go. It's that boy Mark. I'm gonna answer this motherfucker. Let him know. Hey, bro, I'm in the middle of my podcast, bro. So I'm gonna have to hit you up. No, it's all good. Yep. Yeah, man. You know how we do. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna just keep it real, bro. Yeah, man. So Here we go. So the immigration policies. Politicians cater heavily to Hispanic and Asian communities with specific policies, but black voters are expected to show up and vote every time. And this is facts. This is why they was like, where the black people at when they didn't vote in this past election, because we was either sitting out or we was voting for Donald Trump because we are they base. And they know that because we vote emotionally. Hispanics and Asian vote intellectually. And they don't get up in emotions. They gonna come with facts for facts because they are the business owners. You see more Hispanics owning business. You see more Asians in, not even business owner position, but C-suite positions, CEOs, CTFOs, so they understand economics. You see more black people on welfare, so you don't understand economics. That's just a fact. You don't. How could a kid understand where money comes from when you always giving them allowance just cause? Like my daughter, she's 5 years old. You know what I mean? If I just give her gushers every time I see her, she just thinks that I'm just made of gushers. She just thinks that there's an abundant source of gushers coming from me, not knowing that dad has to go to the store and the money comes from me, however, how often I work and then how much I can afford to spend on gushers. So if I'm used to giving her 3 gushers, but then I'm like, hey, daddy got to cut back because, times is hard, this, that, and the third. Dad, you're a misogynist. Can you imagine a 5-year-old saying that first off? But you're just an evil dad and you don't want me to have gushers, and you like, no, I just can't afford to spend on gushers right now. I can, my boy, what's the word? Tay Benz in the building. I can't afford gushers right now, so I just gotta, you know what I'm saying? But I can still afford, chicken nuggets and the regular dinner and to get your hair done and the clothes and the whatever that you do for your kid. I can still afford that. I just can't do nothing extra. Y'all don't, but a kid, you can't expect the kid to really understand that concept because they don't know the earning process. They don't know what's the value of a dollar. Same thing with you black Americans, is y'all don't understand the value of the economy. Right? So, yeah, man, moving on. We're going to talk about the social media and how it's a plantation. All right, the digital sharecropping. Now, I already talked about how, we got that sharecropping, and now we got the digital sharecropping. Real shit, bro. I just want to, we can talk music all day, man, but I want to, put something in y'all heads to really think about, guys. So, yeah, man, we're going to talk about the social media plantation. Today, I know y'all supposed to be doing this no spending, all of that nonsense or whatever that Al Sharpton tells y'all. Y'all need to stop listening to that nigga. Y'all really need to stop listening to Al Sharpton. Y'all really do. You know what I mean? So, example is TikTok trends where black creators invent viral dances. We invent the slang and the music, but white influencers make millions from them. The example is the guy Edison Ray doing the black TikTok dance on the Tonight Show, while the original creator got nothing. What about the other Fortnite dance where it was created by a black dude and then it got uploaded on the Fortnite and he receives no residual? The guy who, I'm dating myself now, the guy who was like, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they raping everybody out here. You know what I mean? They made a whole song about him, hide your kids, hide your wife. Went viral. The white people that made the song didn't even cut the dude a check. Didn't even cut him a check. Didn't even think about cutting him a check. They do this all the time. Man. People, well, not me. I don't give a Y'all too selfish, gang. Another example is Tyler Perry, who owns his studios, right? We get those Tyler Perry woke films. Not taking nothing away from his artistry, but he pushes a certain narrative where the men are always the villain. They're always a villain. They always getting saved by some tall, dark, and handsome nigga. Or no, tall, dark, and light-skinned brother. Excuse me. The dark-skinned brother is always the villain. The light-skinned woman with the curly hair and almost the white girl features, she's always the heroine in distress. The damsel in distress. And then the darkest toned sisters are always the villain and being victimized until the end of the movie where they all come together and be like, we sisters. Why are we fighting each other? It's the same shit. And then it's nothing but homosexuality and transgender. But if I start talking like that, it's transphobia. That's why I don't like none of his shows. Sisters, Zatima, none of them, because he always portrayed men as these weak individuals. They always are weak bastards. I don't see myself. Nobody is strong. Nobody's a man in that motherfucker. They all are some PUSS. And the answer, and the question is why? Why, man? Because that's how they want you. That's how they programming you, telling you a vision through programming. So what is the solution? You know what I'm saying? Because most black filmmakers have to go through Hollywood to get their shit greenlit. You gotta go. And what he say? You got to tell Diddy no when you go to Hollywood. Straight up, man. So an example is that we need our own platforms to control our narratives. We don't, like BET. It's been hijacked. They don't even tell our stories anymore. They talk about more homophobic and transphobic nonsense stuff than the nuclear family. They don't even talk about the nuclear family. Everybody is from a single household. Yes, queen, slay queen. The man, don't try and mansplain me. What the H are y'all talking about, man? Y'all, we are so lost in the wilderness, bro. And so we need our own narratives and keep the profits in our community. What I'm planning on doing is I'm launching my own streaming platform. It's a plug for me. It's titled Looped, to where you can upload your own content on there and tell your own stories and then get monetized from that way. You know, offer a membership package. It has an e-commerce store. So if you have a movie and then you have merch, you can then sell the merch of your movie. So if I got a movie called Players Club Part 2, right? And then I got hats for the player clubs, and I got keychains, and I got hoodies. I can then upload it in my e-commerce store. So while you are enjoying the movie or after you enjoyed the movie, you can go into the e-commerce store and then purchase whatever gear that you like. All right, that's a plug. And then the content creators get majority of the profit, while the platform retains a small percentage fee. That's how you be able to control your own narrative, because I'm tired of seeing black men particularly, in these soft, weak roles. It's like, y'all remember when Kim Possible was popping when we was kids, bro, during that era? And every male counterpart in the TV show was soft. Ron Stoppable, soft. The Lizzie McGuire show, Gordo, soft. You had Even Stevens, loved it. Ren was smart as a mug, and my boy Steve was a nuisance. They didn't even like his intellect, even though he was a schemer, knew how to get some money. That's what he was on. Those TV shows prepared us for that. Another one, That's So Raven. They made Eddie. Eddie barely had lines in the show, for real. And when he did, they always made him like a fool. You know what I'm saying? Dancing and jigging. It was an agenda. Where was the male TV shows for us growing up back then? Doug? He was weak. Doug? The coolest male TV show, and it was a cartoon, was Hey Arnold. He was the only dude that was really like a actual guy growing up as being a male. You can't even say the Avatar. They made him a little boy. He was a child. He was in a childlike state. Zuko, like everybody in that TV show was up under a woman. Katara, she was dope. Her brother Sokka, he was a wimp. Toph, the blind girl, she was arguably one of the hardest characters in the game in the TV show. What was the other one? Azura, Zuko's sister. She was dope. Okay? You wanted to be like Azura instead of Zuko. Zuko was cool, but he was too emotional. They trained us for that. They programmed for this moment right here today. And we keep following the rhetoric, just like the proverb that I told you. All in the name because they look like you. All right? What you want to be? Do you want to be the tree that keeps shrinking in the forest? Or do you want to be the axe? Shit. Let's talk about it, man. So the Great Black Migration. And hold on, I want to play. Justin, you back there, bro? I got another clip. Where's he gone? Okay, cool. I got another clip I want to play. I'm going to just let these two roll back to back. And here we go right here, man, because this is going to solve all our problems right here if we just really listen to the context. Here goes my clip.
This Republican social worker asked the question that no one else dared to, and this duo did not hold back in exposing the truth.
Question: what advice do you have for me as a Republican aspiring social worker? My personal focus is on the children in underprivileged communities because I personally feel like they don't choose to be put in that position, but I'm having a little bit of a difficult time empathizing with the older generation of underprivileged.
Here's one way to look at it. Great Society from Lyndon Johnson. It was a series of policies that were designed to help underprivileged communities.
Right.
They hurt the very people they were supposed to help.
How?
So you have a lot of single mothers, for example, that are paid more money not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house because of the way the math of these aid programs
What do
work.
you mean?
We as conservatives believe that if you're in poverty, it's largely because of values, not because of lack of stuff.
Like what values?
Not saving money, abandoning your spouse after impregnating you, not spending all of your money on alcohol.
Why is it so important for white people to tell blacks that you're oppressed? I must be an anomaly.
So
Hold on, let me finish.
No,
Hold on, let me
come on,
finish.
preach us. Tell us our question. Please, sir, come up. Please.
There hasn't been a white man looming in the dark telling me that I can't do any of this stuff. Anytime I take personal responsibility for the things that I do, and because I do that, I'm able to identify my mistakes and make changes in my behavior or my actions to improve myself. Okay?
Thank you.
That's where it's important. But see, I don't understand it. I wanted to ask this gentleman. Based on what I just said and what he said earlier, I'm an anomaly. But I'm standing right here. And I came from a single parent mother who didn't have anything. Okay? So I had the opportunity to make decisions, good choices or bad choices. Every bad choice that I've made in my life, I can trace back to my responsibility. I don't blame it on anybody but myself.
And that is how you win in this country.
Traffic.
You hear that, man? Taking responsibility for your own actions. So you now you heard it from me. Now you seeing clips from people that I don't even know personally that's saying the same thing that I'm saying, man, that these programs that y'all are trying to save so much keeps you economically dependent upon them. It is a form of sharecropping, digital sharecropping, emotional sharecropping, economical sharecropping. They are stealing your mind with emotions. They are stealing you, robbing you of logic, because all they do is, you ever seen those movies where it was like a standoff and the good guy got a gun and then the bad guy got a hostage in front of him? I think it was, you ever seen like the last what was it called? Damn. Bad Boys. The last Bad Boys 4. Martin Lawrence had my boy, he was held hostage and the bad guy had him at the gun. And Mike, no, I think it was the opposite way. Yeah, Mike was held hostage and shit like that. And the bad guy had him at gunpoint and shit. And Martin, you know what I'm saying, Marcus had the gun. And that's the same way that they do, you guys, is filled with emotion. My boy Will Smith character, he was like, bro, Mike Larry was like, bro, don't do it. You know, I'm good. I made my peace. If I die, I die. That's basically what he was saying. This man was not thinking about emotions. And usually Marcus is the emotional one in the whole series. But this time he got a grip of himself. He wasn't worried about, you know, his best friend being in his line of sight. He trusted his instinct enough. He took responsibility of his own emotion and was able to land a bullet in old dude's head. All right? And even Mike's character was like, oh my God, you know, he was like, bro, you got to trust myself. That's what I'm telling us as a community, man. We got to trust ourselves and stop being so emotional, because all they do is put another hostage. Oh, Medicaid, Medicare, they going to take you off. They trying to get rid of Medicaid and Medicare. Oh, they trying to get rid of DEI programs. And black people was number 5 on the list, and only 4% of black people recipients in the DEI program. You know who was number 1? It was your white counterparts. 78% of the workforce was hired under the DEI program were white people, men, women, and transgenders. This is fact. Only 4% of black people was represented by the DEI program. Why are we even mad? Your rights, our rights to work in a workplace isn't protected under the guise of DEI. It isn't protected under the Civil Rights Amendment. No, it's under the Constitution. It's under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, man. So we've been had our rights to not be discriminated in the workplace. Are you able to enforce it yourself? And then the real thing is create your own. Let's make our own. People want to boycott today. It's a lot of black-owned businesses. You know, Milo's Tea is a black-owned tea. I love Milo's. They got some fire-ass tea that they sell in Family Dollar and Walmart. I go there to get my tea. I'm still going to go there to get my tea because that is a black man manufacturing some good old iced tea. And there's other black products, hair care products that's in Walmart. There's hair care products that's in Target. Now you guys is ruining their bottom line because they're dependent on their black constituents to pay for them. So think about the bigger picture. If y'all really want to help us out, Sharpton, you got paid $250,000 to interview Kamala Harris. Why don't you build a Piggly Wigglies? Why don't you build a Walmart? Why don't you, Oprah Winfrey, all of these people that's telling us we depressed and all of this stuff, why don't y'all take y'all millions of dollars, LeBron James, all of y'all that keep hollering these social warriors, Kyrie Irving, Nick Cannon, all of you guys, the Migos, y'all be flashing y'all bread in our videos any day, calling us broke, want to steal our girls. Why don't you make your own, build your own stores? Y'all the bank. Why don't y'all come up with a fund and have a brother like me who has these ideas and I can draft a business proposal and be like, hey, Jay-Z, hey, whatever your rich black character that you want me to name, all of them, anybody, hey, I got a business proposal. Why don't y'all have something like that? Because y'all don't want to help. Y'all want to hurt. Y'all not really in it for the economical advancement. Sure, you can boycott for today. But guess what? Tomorrow you're going right back into that mud. Even if you don't, guess what? Newsflash, you still don't own nothing. So even if we go to a black-owned club tonight, guess where they're going to deposit their money? In a U.S. bank, Bank of America, Navy Federal, some other bank that's outside of our community. You lost again. And to further support my argument, the last time we did the boycott, the bus boycott in the 63, 64 era, we literally crippled the black-owned buses. Dr. John Clark had a bus. His family had a bus company. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they got bought up by Greyhound because y'all was boycotting all of the buses, but y'all didn't support the black bus lines, the black taxis, or nothing like that. Why? Why didn't y'all support them? Why, if we gonna pull our dollar out, why don't you find another place to spend it? Why don't we build someplace to spend our dollar? We need to build banks. Why can't we put our monies together and start building a bank, man? So who really runs this? Who's really running the game? So there needs to be a great migration. An example is that Akon built a futuristic city in Senegal. All right, in Senegal with $6 billion investment, while black people in the U.S. struggle to get funding for businesses. Why don't we go to Africa? I had my guest from Zambia, the Smiley family. Shout out to them. And if you remember, my boy Gabriel, He said that he started his own. He started a business over there because the barrier of entry was easy to get in versus America. Now he has a small manufacturing business to where he can hire workers that can now produce his leather handbags that he sell across the nation or across the country of Zambia. Shout out to him. But he said so himself. And this is a white man. All right. This is a white dude who said, bro, I never had the ambition of starting a business until I moved out of the country because I had extra money to get in the game. Starting a business here in America, it costs a lot to invest here. It just costs a lot to live here. Eggs is $8. You know what I'm saying? Gas here in STL is $2.99. So it costs a lot. And then you got all of these weak ass taxes. So why are we even here trying to build up America? Why don't we go someplace else? Why don't we go back to Africa? A great example is Ghana's Year of the Return campaign, started in 2019. It brought thousands of where they wanted to bring thousands of African Americans back to Africa to invest in the land. Hundreds and thousands did actually go. It's called the Blaxit. All right, the Black Exit, the Blaxit. Google that in your spare time and see what they're doing. And nations like Ghana are giving money, funding you, to telling you, come, bring your American skills, bring your American ideas to our country, help build up our economy. It was a group of black investors and realtors that actually got a plot of land. I think it's in Ghana, if I'm not mistaken. The government gave them a test trial and gave them, I think, 20 acres. I think it's about 20 acres. I can't remember how many acres, but they gave them X amount of acres in an experiment program for them to build their own city to be sustainable, or a subdivision, if you will. They'll give them the money to build their own subdivision that's comparable to what we have in America. And if they are able to fill those subdivisions with subjects outside of their nation, like black Americans, get like 250,000 black Americans to move and migrate over there to Ghana and into their new subdivision, they will then release more money so they can build out 20 more subdivisions, if you will. We can have our own American community in Africa. Everybody want to come to America anyway, and they only want to come to America because black people make this shit look cool. You can't lie, bro. Everywhere we go, our culture is everywhere. We're everywhere in everybody's culture. We even got Asian people doing what they can to get braids in their hair. Have y'all seen the process of Asians braiding their hair and getting afros put in their hair? They literally are going through a recoiling process just to add friction into their hair to then, get the effects of having an afro. Paul Mooney said it best. Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't want to be a nigga when it's time to be a nigga. But y'all want to look like us. We can take these same innovations that we've had in the past and revolutionize another country. America is where it is right here because we invented everything you see, from the cell phone to the internet to the super soaker. Like, we invented it all. The trains, the planes, fuck the Wright brothers, man. We invented it all. There's nothing new under the sun, baby, that wasn't invented. And who is darker than the sun? It is me and you. So America only got this far off of our economical advances. Imagine if we took these advances to another country, to another nation. We will boast of them way more and feel more appreciative. And we will be more appreciative. We won't be feeling like we just another black person, or, you know what I mean? We will look like we'll be looked at as a citizen, as a person. So I think we should explore more global opportunities. My best friend, she's doing great. Shout out to my best friend Martine X, the queen of hospitality. She begs me all the time to leave America because she left America over 15 years ago and found success in the Caribbean tourism industry. Now she's up. All right. I don't want to disclose it, but she's up, nigga. She's wealthy than a motherfucker. Shout out to my best friend. Okay? Because she betted on herself and left America because America denied her access to money, capital, and resources. So she went around the world, nigga. Literally had to go around the world just to get rich. Just to get rich. And then this same country wants to tax her 28% of her wealth, and they didn't help her create this wealth. The corporate tax rate is 28%, and they want it just because she's an American. But they didn't give her a loan for this business. They didn't give her their land. They didn't give her their resources. They wouldn't even network with her. Does that sound fair? So why are we, so gun-ho to this system when we can leave anytime? I like America. I don't think that we have to be hell-bound to this mug, though. I believe we should travel more often. I've been outside the country several times, enjoyed myself. I consider myself, a citizen of the world, and we should all start thinking like that as a citizen of the world, man, and not just, not just a citizen of America or a second-class citizen of America, because that's what they want you to believe, black people, my people. So, who is really running the game, man? They all promise us the same thing over and over and over with no solutions. And what I want to challenge is the one thing that you can do this week to take back control economically, politically, or digitally. What could you do? Okay, what's one thing that you can do this week? That can bolster your personal economy. What could you do in your micro community to benefit you politically or digitally? What is it? Why we don't have to depend on these same systems anymore. Everybody should. I'm on Facebook right now. We should boycott this mug. Why not? We make it thrive anyway. We don't need to be on here, man. I think we need to start supporting black-owned platforms. Demand policies is what we should do instead of just promises. We need a black American mandate. I think black Americans, we should somehow sit around and really ask ourselves, what is it that we want in America? What type of change do we really want to see as a black community? I'm not asking about the Latinos. I'm not asking about the LGBT movement. Y'all have y'all agenda. Okay? I'm talking about black Americans. I'm not talking about the rural white Americans because I know you guys are asking for internet, basically. I get it. What about black Americans? What are we asking for? You know what I'm asking for? I'm asking for fathers in the home, number one. We got to end child support and this fraud retribution to eliminate the nuclear family. That's what I think. Number one, man, child support needs to be abolished. Get rid of it, because that right there is putting a chokehold on black men in their wallet, and it incentivizes black women to not even want to be with a man because they know that they can get government stipends. I just showed it to you. I just showed you to it on the clips. So get rid of those incentivizers that damages the nuclear family. That's number one. Number two, we need access to capital. All right, we need our best business owners to be able to get incentives, tax breaks to real estate developers to redevelop our neighborhoods and make them more affordable. That's what we need. So then we can, number three, be able to buy and support our own school systems, because now we living back into our neighborhoods. Our tax revenue dollars can support the school system, which is attached to our property value. The neighborhoods are trash, so the property values are trash, so the schools are trash. But if we reverse all of those things and have access to capital so we can bolster our neighborhood, then that can bring up our property value, which means the state can award us more money into our school systems, so then our school systems can produce better citizens, which are kids. better citizens, bright-minded citizens. So then they can grow up and then build from there. So once we get our school systems under control, the next thing is that we need capital finance to establish our own police, fire department, sub-departments, hospitals, and infrastructure like not postal workers, but excavators. That's what we need in the next stage, is those things to support that. If we had more cops that look like us, that knew us, and was comfortable living in the community because the community looked nice, then great. Then we need access to food and a distribution channel for food. So that means we need black-owned grocery stores, mom and pop stores. We need black farmers to step up. We need a network for black farmers and black truck drivers distribution channels. So our own Cisco or Costco, if you will, a black Costco. All right, you know what I mean. That's what we need to, and then that can keep the dollar circulating. You know what I mean. So we do that. If we do that, then that's able to keep the dollar circulating back into our community. When we have now we feeding ourselves, we teaching ourselves, we policing ourselves, we housing ourselves. Come on, man. Now the dollar is circulating more and more and more. So I just gave you our agenda for real. That's what we need. We need access to those things. And when we have that, then we will be more equipped in this economy. We have the spending power. We just need to redirect our spending power, and we need something to sustain or conduct our spending power on a scalable level. So we need distribution networks. We need our food. We need our truck drivers, all of our black truck drivers. Y'all need to hook up with black farmers. Black farmers, y'all need to hook up with black truck drivers, and y'all need to find a way to start distributing these foods to black mom and pop stores. So then now we can then sell food back to our community and circulate that dollar several times. And then we find our black marketers, advertising agencies, and you spend with them that they can find the right target audience. All right? This is what we need to do. We need an economical growth plan. I don't care about you boycotting. I don't care about the DEI. I don't care if I lose my black card. I was never black in the first place, like my grandmother says. We not even black. We're brown. I'm an Indian. I'm an American. All right? Surprise. I'm an American. I'm not even black anymore. Nobody is black in America. There's no such thing as black. It's not. It's a status. Just like there's no such thing as white. There's no place called black land that you can send us back to. So the name of the origin of your name or of your characteristic or your people has to attach to a landmass. There is no landmass called black. That's why Europeans are called Europeans, because you can go back to Europe. They calling us African Americans, but we never came from Africa. Most of us was right here when they caught us. We was right here. Right here. Surprise. Surprise, nigga. Ain't no way that they packed up that many millions of people to come across the boat. Less than 3% probably would have made it on that journey. Less than 3%. Quit playing, man. We was already here. They rounded us up. So, in conclusion, we need to start supporting black-owned platforms, demand policies instead of promises. Oh, and we need to look into investing outside of the U.S. of A. ASAP. Okay? So, my last thing, I said, what's one thing that you can do this week to take control economically, politically, or digitally? And my final thought, like I said, man, I'm gonna leave you off with the parable that I began, and now I'm gonna end it off. And again, I say, the forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced that trees, that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. Okay? So don't just what they say, all skin folks ain't kin folks. Don't be listening to them crafty pastors that like to take secular songs and put it into their verse, in their sermon. They do it all the time. It's so disgusting and despicable, and it's predictable. God damn you. My dad was like, yeah, my pastor said, and they not like us. Everybody outside the church ain't like us. I'm so sick of it. Pastors do it every time when it's something popping. Wait till Glow really has some song. Yeah, Glow. I'm sure a pastor was like, and yeah, let the glorious of the Lord shine upon. Cut it out. You guys are so corny and predictable. And they play the same game that the Democrats run on you guys. So I say that, man, look, don't be the shrinking forest, okay? Because the axe is clearly the Michelle Obamas, the Al Sharptons, the Barack Obamas, the Jasmine Crockett's, the P. Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's telling you or convincing you that we need to shrink the forest, but listen to me because I'm just like you. I'm just like you, so I know what to do. They are not like us. They are not like us. They are not struggling like us, man. They're not living in the same rhetoric. They don't live in the same Americas that we do today. So, don't be the forest. All right? Don't be the forest. Don't be the axe. All right? And most importantly, don't be the lumberjack. All right? Who do you want to be? Be yourself. Think for yourself. All right? Go think for yourself, man. You're going to be unpopular. The most unpopular people are usually the ones that's right. Remember that. So, I love y'all. Peace, love, and unity. I think I'm going to end y'all off on a song, man, with some of the latest and greatest, bro, of, you know what? I'm going to leave you with where's it at? Chosky by my boy D-Tay. Choose or die, man. This cartoons and cuts, man. I'm your boy, Mr. Martial Arts Media. I love you. You love me. We one big ass family, bro. Shout out to Barney.
Lewis is here.
These boys with my little homie when I go out of town. You ain't never been connected, nigga, I gave you a rock. I ain't even fuck your bitch, little bruh, she gave me that mouth. Ho can't pull up on me begging, bitch, I'm putting you out. Broke it, bitch, you gotta leave. But hold up, can't get on your knees and can you stash the trees? I really hardly ain't get no Z's, still got all RPPs. I fucked the hoe was 22 when I was 17. I had that sack, I had that juice, blow had me sipping lean. We sipping yellow, we sipping red, you niggas be sipping green. I was riding runner, I had it tinted when bro had went to league. Ain't cover no thought, you be asking for money or you probably be fucking for weed. Damn. Or you probably fuck for a sack. I ain't gon' lie, if Trey was a lie, he wasn't even past the black. I'm fucking this bitch with a BBL, I ain't gon' lie, that pussy was fat. I'm also tender about that cash and me and money attached. Don't play the push up in all black, my folks play for the sweat. Fuck. My plug like Pat Mahomes. I'm catching plays, I think I'm running on money like Jerry Jones. They know they ain't talking about no bread, they can't even call my phone. All my little homie wanna do is post me, he think he called me alone. Shit, I don't even give a fuck what he do, long as he get it gone. Say bring that money through. I pull a stack out on your bitch, you know what money do. She heard we poppin' it too damn hard, bitch, this the money crew. Yeah, bitch, this the money team. I feel a Ruby Rose, let me fuck, then I can do anything. Bitch, these Balenciaga shades, nah, they ain't come from Shane. These some boys with my little homie when I go out of town. You ain't never been connected, nigga, I gave you a rock. I ain't even fuck your bitch, little bruh, she gave me that mouth. Ho can't pull up on me begging, bitch, I'm putting you out. Broke it. Bitch, you gotta leave. But hold up, can't get on your knees and can you stash the trees? I really hardly ain't get no Z's, still got all RPPs. I fucked the hoe was 22 when I was 17. I had that sack, I had that juice, blow had me sipping lean. We sipping yellow, we sipping red, you niggas be sipping green. I was riding running.